What's going on, guys? It's Good Guy Grant. Today is the 10th of February 2023. Something a little bit different. I'm doing a video just giving a quick review on this 2018 Toyota Prius VVTi Japanese import. I'm just going to run through some likes, some dislikes, and show you some footage of the car. Very much sure most people know what a Toyota Prius looks like, but I would just go over some bits that I like and dislike using it for apps such as Uber, Bolt, Ola, free now. But yeah, let's go. Right, so first things first, we're gonna have to talk about the fuel economy. Obviously, I like this. If you do watch my other videos, you know I normally drive a Volkswagen Jetta, but I have been using this Toyota Prius and I easily get over 60 miles per gallon. There's been many times when I've got over 70 miles per gallon, just depending on what type of driving I'm doing. If I can get 60 to 70 miles per gallon, I'm sure you guys out there can probably get 80 plus, whatever. This also has like the hybrid battery, which brings me on to another point that I do like, is the EV mode button this car has. If you push that, if you're driving in like local traffic and you're doing like under 20 miles per hour and you're accelerating slowly, you can use the EV mode, which is very nice, silent, smooth. I guess you could say it kind of adds to the Toyota Prius experience. Next point that I do like, I think it's fair to say that this car does what it's expected to do. That's why so many people use this car for Uber. It does what it says on the tin. It's pretty spacious inside. It's comfortable. You can spend like your 10-hour whatever shift in here and it's not too bad. I'm 6'6". Granted, I get a bit of a sore back at times, but that's because I'm moving a chair backwards, forwards and stuff. But the seats in themselves are pretty comfortable. They are fabric seats. I would like to see a leather seat option. I don't know if you can get that from factory. I do know people buy leather seat covers for these cars. So that is something I dislike, but the seats themselves are comfortable. It's a comfortable place to work in. That's what you need when you're on the road. Kind of bringing it back to the fuel economy situation, this car has 3 driving modes that I'm aware of. There is a drive mode button next to the EV mode button. I tend to drive it in eco mode whenever I'm working. That leaves you in like a dark blue screen. You do then have like the normal mode, and that leaves you on like a light blue screen, like color effect. And then you have the power mode, which is like a red kind of effect. Have to admit, the power mode, for what it is, acceleration from pull off, I guess with like the little bit of the electric battery I think kicks in there, plus the engine. So yeah, nice little features to have, especially if you want to get away from the traffic lights a little bit quickly, you know. Right, so another feature on this car that I love, especially compared to my personal car, is the xenon headlights. When you go from halogen headlights to xenon headlights, it's a massive difference. But on top of that, with this car, you can drive with like your full beam setting on, but it has an auto feature. There's a button to turn that on and off, but the car detects when you're going around a corner and it will dip like the headlights back to like normal. And then once you're driving straight again, it will flash them back up so you can see where you're going. But it also detects other cars' headlights. So if there's another car in front of you coming towards you or even behind you, it will then dip your headlights down, so you don't have to keep turning them on, off yourself. I love that feature. I wish my Volkswagen Jetta had that, but yeah. Right, so another feature I love in this car, when you're out working, you need to carry bits with you. You have stuff in the glove box, like documents and stuff, but the center console here, they have 2 cup holders, and then in the cup holder here, you have a very large space to store some stuff with you. When I'm carrying stuff like my GoPro case and my like windscreen mount and stuff, it's nice to have it somewhere safe and secure to put away. And the way it's kind of structured in like terms of height and width, nothing like rolls about too much, so it doesn't get like crashing and banging all day long. It's a nice little space to have. Another feature I like on this car, I think it comes from factory, but a lot of Priuses do have it, but some don't have it. But yeah, this model car that I have has the wind deflectors. It's something I'm going to get installed on the Volkswagen Jetta, I think. It's something I've kind of like considered for a while now, but you can put the windows down even when it's raining, have fresh air in the car, but you're not going to get wet. And even when you do the screen wash, cleaning the windscreen, when it wipes the screen wash, it doesn't end up landing in the car. I can't explain how many times when I've had my window open without wind deflectors and you end up getting wet from like screen wash or if it's raining. I like to have fresh air in the car. Okay, you can spray air freshener and stuff to make a car smell nice, but fresh air is key. Being able to have your windows open without getting wet, you can't beat it. So another thing I love about this car that kind of brings it onto like a bit of a closure here is it's keyless entry. So I have my key here. It's just a key fob. push the start button here. You can also lock the car and unlock the car without using the key. So you can, there's a button on the door lock, you can push that and it will lock the car, and then if you put your hand as if you're going to grab the door handle, it will unlock for you, which I love. Again, it's nice little luxuries that my Volkswagen Jetta doesn't have, so just makes the car easier everywhere you go. And you can't lock the car, because I've gone to try and lock the car but I've left the keys inside the car, but it beeps, so it lets you know that it won't lock and that the keys are inside the car. So that's a nice little thing to have. Last thing you want to do is lock the keys inside the car and have to pay for somebody to come out. Yeah, and one closing little thing here that I like, all the interior is black. For me, I like that. It's just the best way to do it. Yeah, steering wheel's black, the black plastics, the black dashboard, the black seats, black carpet. Although this car has like grey mats in. The only thing I would prefer is if like the headlining was black. That would be a nice little finishing touch. It has the tints in the back. Yeah, that's what you need. Right, so now we're going to talk about some things that I dislike about the Toyota Prius when using it on the apps such as Uber, Bolt, Ola, whatever. One of the things that I noticed straight away was that on the Toyota Prius, you're only available for Uber X and the equivalent on other apps. So there's no Uber Comfort, Uber Business Comfort, nothing. Obviously, you're not going to get Exec or Lux, whatever, but my Volkswagen Jetta, I get Uber Comfort and Business Comfort jobs as well, which only getting Uber X jobs, it's not the end of the world. You're still busy, but there's less opportunity and the jobs don't pay as much as Comfort when they do come up. So just something to consider. Right, so this car has an aftermarket head unit, so I will throw that out there. I don't believe this head unit comes from factory, so I don't know if what I'm about to complain about is to do with the aftermarket head unit, because it has a reverse camera, but when I put it in reverse, which I'll do now, you get that initial beep there. Can you hear it? Sometimes you've got a reverse with a passenger in the car, and it is annoying. I had to do it this morning. I had a passenger in the car and I was reversing down like a dark road, and it was a beep, 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 beep. It was like 6 in the morning. You don't want to hear that. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a way to turn it off. There is like a number of buttons and stuff, but yeah, this car has a reversing camera and it doesn't have parking sensors. I would much rather have parking sensors. That's what I'm used to with the Jetta. It'd be nice to have like a mix of both, but the reverse camera, especially in winter, is continuously getting dirty. So, and at the night time, although it goes brighter, if you understand like camera settings and stuff, it all goes noisy, so you can't really see too much anyway, and it overexposes because it's dark. And I prefer good old parking sensors that work correctly. That's just something I'm not too keen on this car. This might sound a little controversial. Not controversial, that's the wrong word, but as a Toyota Prius driver, you get no respect on the road. Now, when I do Volkswagen Jetta driving, it's not your typical taxi car, private hire car, Uber car, whatever you want to refer to it as. When you're in the Prius, people will like bib you at the traffic light as soon as like stuff goes amber, as if to tell you to hurry up. People won't give you way. People, especially like taxi drivers or other Prius drivers and stuff, no one gives way. Like, I don't know what it is. Granted, I'm probably the same. If I'm like in a rush somewhere, I don't want to give way to someone in a Prius. Half the chances can be that they're gonna just drive super slow, or they're gonna do something wrong and they're just gonna delay you. But yeah, I don't know what it is. The stigma that is out there, you get no respect as a Toyota Prius on the road. Right, so another thing I dislike, you can kind of see it there, the rear window. Now, the top half of the rear window, I will try and do a clip of this over. The top half of the window there, the window wiper, it doesn't cover the whole of the windscreen, which isn't the end of the world, but I don't get why it doesn't like try and cover more of the windscreen. That's fine, but then you've got like the bottom section just here, there's no wiper there, and the car gets dirty straight away. So you can't see out of that. But then that's my next point, is when you're reversing, you can't see anything. You've got the reverse camera that doesn't work. The windscreen stuff at the back is like caked. You can't see nothing out of it. It's a bad design. And then the thick bit of plastic that runs along the top there, like through the middle, that blocks your vision. The rear window on this car is pointless. That is probably like the thing I hate the most about the car. That just the rear window. You don't need a rear window, I get it. You've got your wing mirrors, that's fine, but pointless. Right, okay, so one thing I have noticed while driving this car is that it's very low. Like it's a pretty low front end. Like you're going over like the square, sleeping policemen, speed humps, whatever you want to call them. I find that not all the time, but quite often you scrape, and very cautious, especially where it's not my car. Very cautious while driving. You don't want to cause damage to the bumper and whatever. That very low front end, when you're doing this job and you're up and down curves, you've got speed humps all day long, there's potholes. You want something that's a bit more rugged and can just take that kind of stuff. I just don't know if the Prius is 100% up to it. Maybe that's just like me being a bit picky, I don't know. But yeah, the low front end, I'm not too keen on. Right, so as I said already in this video, I am 6'6". I could probably like need to touch up there. Now, when I'm just driving, if somebody's sitting there, no problem. I can move my chair back. I'm comfortable. I've got my chair back now, I think. Yeah, I'm back basically all the way. Leg room nowhere near the dashboard. That's fine. I can drive like this, no problem. But if I have to bring the car forward, not the car, if I have to bring the chair forward, I'm long-legged. The dashboard is very low. So if somebody's sitting behind me and I really do need to move the seat forward, I move it forward a little bit and it's not too bad. But if I have to move it far enough forward, my leg is on the dashboard. So I end up sort of like tucking my left leg behind my right leg and then driving with my right foot for the accelerator and brake. But yeah, if you're tall like me, that is something that I probably would not go for a Toyota Prius just because of the leg room alone. It's a bit of an inconvenience, I have to admit. But if you're short or normal height even, you've got nothing to worry about. There's plenty of room in this car, I have to say. Okay, so something else. It's not really like a bugbear. I kind of think that a lot of the newer cars are kind of moving like all the dash to the center. Every car that I've owned, the dashboard is like behind the steering wheel, right in front of you. But this is all to the center. I mean, you can just kind of look down and you can see your speed and stuff, but the hybrid battery information and stuff is more in the middle, and then you've got to look even further over to see what gear. Obviously, you're only in drive, neutral, park, reverse, whatever. That's fine. But then like the time where it says, like right now it says 8:40. I have to look far over to the left. I don't like that. I wish I could just look straight down and it's there. Now, this one might sound a little bit picky, but these things have got to be said. On some cars, I know my Volkswagen again has it. Sorry to keep talking about my Jetta. It's all I can kind of really refer it to right now. If you want to talk about like the air vents on the dashboard, my Volkswagen Jetta has like a scroll up and down so you can close it off. This doesn't have that, but I have the setting for the heating right now. I have the front button push, so the heat should be coming up to the windscreen. There is like a button on the center here where you can control whether it comes out the front of the vents or like down by your feet or a mix of both, whatever. But the heat continuously comes through the dashboard vents. Now I have my phone magnet into like the center vent. The phone gets hot. The phone gets hot, the screen dims. It's a bit of a nightmare. I don't really want to have the phone on the windscreen where avoidable. It's not nice. It doesn't look nice on the windscreen. You have to reach further for it. And FYI, you should not be having your phone screen mounted on the center of the windscreen because that is blocking your vision. If your phone screen is in like the windscreen wiper region, technically you can get a fine and points for that from the police. So just take that into consideration when doing Uber. I see so many drivers with the phone mounted on the center of the windscreen. Don't do it. Right, this is my final point on my list. I really know deep down I'm gonna forget something after I've recorded all this video, and it's gonna be too late. So I do apologize if I forget anything, but this one is kind of, I left it till last because the car is an import. Now the indicators are back to front as such. The indicators are on the right hand side, wipers are on the left. UK cars, indicators on the left, wipers are on the right. Now I've got used to it. I've had this car since Christmas Eve and it's now the 10th of February. So I've had this car 6-7 weeks, I don't even know now. General driving, it is fine, you adapt to it, no problem. But you know, you have the moments, you want to change lane now. Like there's no looking and waiting, like you're going now. There's times I've gone to indicate, second nature, I'm pushing, I end up doing the wipers. And I'm not indicating, so I'm kind of just going without indicating, but the wipers are going off and I'm just like, oh. Just take that into consideration if you're getting a Japanese import Prius. The indicators are on the wrong side. It's easy to get used to. That is a point. I've just looked down. Because I'm long-legged, you have like the cruise control stalk. Again, that might be a pro for some people that they have a cruise control stalk. That's fine. I don't use cruise control when doing this job, even on the motorway. if you're in daytime, there's too much traffic. But yes, the stalk is behind the steering wheel. There's quite a lot of times that I've hit my knee on the stalk and it like activates it on the dashboard and stuff, which is pretty annoying, but that's neither here nor there. That's very minor stuff. If you're not tall, you don't even have to worry about that. But overall, I like the car. I'm just trying to be a little bit picky on what I do like, don't like. It has some nice features, especially with like the cruise control and stuff, and you have a lot of information with the hybrid battery and your fuel performance. If I could, as I said, if I can get 60 miles per gallon easily, 70 on a good day, there's people out there that will get 80. I'm not here doing 25 and a 30 all day long trying to save my fuel. I get where I've got to go. Right, so that brings an end to the video. Hopefully you've made it this far through. You would have seen that I've laid some clips over the top of me talking. You don't want to see me sitting in the driver's seat talking for all this time. But as a whole, I do recommend this car. As long as you're not like 6'3" plus, I would then maybe look at something else if you are looking at keeping it long term and stuff. But if you're an everyday person, it's a very good car. It's very fuel efficient. It's a very spacious car as a whole. A nice boot space, I suppose you can say. Seems pretty reliable. I have seen something online that you should get the hybrid battery on a Prius serviced every 6 months. I'm not 100% sure what's involved in that and what kind of mileage range they're talking about there. But yeah, if you're looking for a car for Uber and you wonder why there's so many Toyota Priuses on the road, it's there for a reason. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Videos coming back in the Volkswagen Jetta soon. I cannot wait. Let's go.